Today I'm going to share with you some of my tips on how you can help yourself if you have shoulder or rotator cuff tendonitis, how you can help potentially get some relief and also help rebuild yourself. Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Bradbury, family corrective chiropractor here in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to One Life Family Chiropractic. This is our practice. And today I'm actually going to share with you some tips on how you can help yourself if you have or been suffering from rotator cuff shoulder tendonitis. So it's important to keep in mind as you're tuning in today, if you're watching this, I want you to take that moment for yourself and I want you to stand up, bring your phone in your hand just like this and support it up like this while you watch our tips. So a couple of things that I want you to consider. If you've recently just experienced an overload in that shoulder, I want you to think about how you can help retrain your muscles, give yourself some relative rest, and help yourself get back on track. So a lot of the times we spend our days like this, flexed forward, leaning like this. One of the best things you can do for yourself, get a standing desk. If not, stand up every 20 to 30 minutes to give yourself a break. But remember, when it comes to your spine and nervous system health, as your family corrective chiropractor, that's something I'm passionate about. So what I want to think about is how can I give you some ideas to help look after yourself at home and also consider the health of your spine and your nervous system. So as we were sharing, you spend a lot of time like this. So all the forward structures often start to get more tight and tense, and we start to have an imbalance often in the way we use our rotator cuff muscles. So you'll see here we have our rotator cuff muscles and we have 4 of them: the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis. And now this is a front view. A lot of these structures on the front get more tight. This is your subscapularis, but also some of the more superficial muscles, your pec, your delt, your shoulder muscles all together start to do often one of these. So it's very important that we learn how to open those up first of all. And now also you want to support the muscles on the posterior portion. So you'll see here you have your supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. And a lot of those muscles, what they do is turn you out this way, or what we call external rotation versus the internal rotation. So today we're going to focus on giving you some relative rest, teaching how to use your arm again, focusing on what's going right, what's good, and helping you to rebuild and get back on track. So one of the things I like to start with is just focusing on opening up the front anterior chest muscles. And what we're actually going to do is just come over to this wall here. Now I do 2 variations of this, and what I like to think of is the front line muscles all through here get really stiff, as well as through here. So the first variation is just going to be straight out like this, and I'm going to gently have you shift your arm this way. You may find your front delt, your bicep are really tight, so this is a great one here. And what you're going to do is pause and hold it. You can hold it anywhere from 30 seconds to 90 seconds, focusing on your breathing. Now the variation of this one is actually to bring your arm up more, so you're more in this position here. Not so much like this, but more just 45 degrees at the elbow, and you're going to lean forward just like so. And with this one, you're thinking more about these structures, so your pec, your shoulder, and you're leaning in gently. And again, you're going to hang out here for anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes or multiple times a day. So as I mentioned earlier, the idea of relative rest, and that's going to lead us into our first movement with our shoulder. First of all, just because maybe your right side has a tendonitis or it's bothering you and uncomfortable, I still want you to work on the left side as well. So both sides to keep things moving really well. And if it's just happened on this side, what I'd recommend is taking a decrease in your activities. So decrease your activities altogether, work within the range of motion. Work within that range of motion where you're just slightly uncomfortable. And if you're a gym goer, if you like going to the gym, one thing that's really neat is maintain the use on the side that's not symptomatic nearly to its full extent. So how I mean is if you do overhead presses, if you do one-arm dumbbell presses, if you do any sort of rowing movements, work still on your side that's not symptomatic or the side that has no symptoms on it, because oftentimes by still training this side, what will happen is you will help maintain some strength gains on the side that has seemingly caught up with you or has become uncomfortable. So our first movement is what's called D1s and D2s. And what you're going to do is put your hand down in your pocket here, come right up, and then you're going to reach down in your back pocket. Now, if it gets uncomfortable right here, push yourself slightly and bring yourself back down. Push yourself slightly and bring yourself back down. And I'll work through a range of motion 8 to 10 times in the range of motion that I have where I'm slightly uncomfortable. If you have a full functional range of motion, I'd bring it up here, thumbs up, thumbs in, back up, and then to the back pocket, working that shoulder through a range of motion in what we call D1s and D2s. Now, another really great movement to work on some of those rotator cuff muscles that are often the undertrained ones or in the back is what I want you to do is just get used to holding your shoulder in a good position. So instead of slouching forward, what I want you to do is sit up tall and grab yourself a band just like this. Now, you can do this seated or you can do it standing. But what I like to do is I practice the number 8, and I practice as well what's called an infinity sign. So if I practice the number 8, this is just such a slight movement. I will draw the number 8 just like this, and I'll do that 15 to 20 times. And then I'll also work on an infinity symbol like this. And again, I'll draw it 15 to 20 times. And what you're doing is exercises basically called isometrics, where you're getting used to controlling your shoulder again, keeping it in a good position, keeping it stable, and getting used to engaging those posterior rotator cuff muscles. And as a reminder, just so you can see those posterior cuff muscles on the back of your scapula, but your teres minor, your infraspinatus, and your supraspinatus, getting used to using more of these ones, your infra and your teres minor. So as you progress, using these activities daily, what I want you to think about is actually you've progressed from here, doing your D1s and D2s. Now I want you to add some weight. And I would start simply put with a water bottle just like this. So you're using the D1s, D2s for a range of motion in the first couple of weeks. You can use them as a warm-up, and then what you're going to do is progress to this water bottle weight here. And what I'll do is you can just bring your arms up to the front, and with this 8 to 10 times. And again, you're going to work in that range of motion. If you get to here and you're slightly uncomfortable, come back down. So the front raises, the side raises. And what I would do is actually focus on putting my thumbs up. And with this, you're going to do 8 to 10 times as well for 2 to 3 sets. What you're going to do here is you're going to lay on your tummy, and you can get a towel if you want to wrap around your face so you have something soft and you don't squish your nose. But what you're going to do is work in a 4 to 6 rep range, and you're going to reach around and then reach up as high as you can while trying to keep your arms straight. So you'd be just like this, up here, work in the same plane as the ground. Now mind you, you can have if you have a table like this, or if you're on the floor, you're going to just keep your arms 4 to 6 inches off the ground and work in the range of motion that you have, getting to that point where you come up where you're just slightly uncomfortable. As something to finish up with and progress in the first 3 to 6 weeks is something that would be more of an eccentric exercise. So what you're doing is you're actually going to bring your arm up, and you're going to start light. You can start with 1 to 5 pounds, and you're going to bring it down slow. So if you're working on the challenge side or the symptomatic side, I want you to count to 5 seconds on the way down and get used to controlling that arm and those rotator cuff muscles. And you're going to work with that in a rep range of 6 to 10. Starting, of course, with a lower number, 6 at 5 seconds on the way down, and then you can progress to getting closer to 10. So remember, as we wrap up, there's a couple key components to help rebuilding you. Strengthening often those rotator cuff muscles on the posterior side, opening up, stretching the front ones, changing your routine, walking some more would be helpful in terms of helping your overall healing process, and standing up every 20 to 30 minutes and taking your spine from this to this. Of course, remember the health of your spine and nervous system. As a family corrective chiropractor, I want to know where you're shifted, where the spine's not moving properly, but also where the nerves may be irritated impacting your healing and your function. And sometimes these areas are areas we feel, but more often than not, they're areas that we don't feel. And we compensate above and below, which may be impacting our overall health and well-being. Anyways, consider all these tools today, and like anything, it takes consistency to help build you up. So put this routine together, perform it daily, perform it every other day, whatever you can do consistently, and string these sessions all together to help build you up again and go from there. Otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and of course, as you know, I got a big mission in terms of helping people understand their health and knowing what's going on the inside so they help their body work better, but understand their spine and nervous system health, and that they have to have more function to be healthier. I cannot simply do it alone, so I appreciate your help. If you click share today, send it off to your feed, or just grab the URL, grab it and send it to somebody you know may benefit. I'd appreciate it very much. Anyways, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.